Okay, let's go. Am I ever ready? No.
Yes.
Hi, is this Julie?
It certainly is.
Well, let me do the official introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very excited to welcome our featured guest for this evening, an actress and writer and someone who many of you remember as the original Catwoman, the one and only Miss Julie Newmar. You're on the air live with Terry and Tiffany. Welcome to the show, Julie.
Oh, what a pleasure to be with you, Tiffany.
Well, the first thing I want to say to you, Julie, is I was told that if you're told you're beautiful, that you, of course, you've been told this before, and if you're told you're smart, you say you know that because you are smart. But the way I can get on your side to make you love me is to tell you you're funny.
I think my brother made that all up. Trying to get rid of me or something. Thanks.
I think you're hilarious, though. I think you're very good at comedy. I mean, do you like doing comedy compared to drama?
It's easier. Some people say it's harder, but it's so much more fun. Yes. Everything digests better when you do comedy. Yes.
I know, of course, everybody always talks to you about Batman and things like that, but I want to kind of start before the whole Batman blitz, because you actually started out studying piano and studying dance, and you were kind of, in my opinion, kind of a child prodigy. You graduated high school at 15, and you started out as a dancer, right?
I did. That was my favorite career, was dancing. I think I've had 7, at least by now, careers. Yes, indeed. And every kind of dancing I studied, flamenco, tap, ballet, acrobatic, gymnastics even. Can you imagine? Gymnastics? Tumbling? That was fun, actually.
Wow. Well, you know, seriously, you came from someone that kind of infused that in you because your mother was a Ziegfeld Follies girl.
She was. I don't know if people know about that. That was the 20s, the 30s, and the Well, to have been a Ziegfeld Follies girl, that was probably like being, the most notable or beautiful, or everyone wanted to go to the Ziegfeld Follies when they were in New York. So Ziegfeld was a great producer, and he would do these marvelous shows.
Wow. Did you ever get a chance to see your mother? I mean, I don't know, exactly when you were born, whether she was retired afterwards, but did you get to go to any of her shows? I don't know how long she was dancing.
Oh, no. I heard all the tales and all the stories, and later on in my life I had the opportunity to contribute to a book about the Ziegfeld Follies in those times, and a very great photographer by the name of Alfred Cheney Johnston. So, yes, it's in the blood.
Wow.
So, me personally, Julie, I am a huge fan of actresses who really kind of paved the way and were beautiful, but were also smart and strong, because I feel like you don't have role models like that anymore today. And one thing that people may not know about you is that you actually, in addition to being incredibly beautiful, you're also incredibly smart. I believe I read on the internet you have like a 135 IQ. You actually were studying at UCLA, but you left just after 6 months of enrolling there. Why did you make the decision to leave UCLA for a career in entertainment when that could be so lucrative?
Because life was more interesting. Being on the stage,
Good answer.
Choreographing, dancing, being in the Hollywood milieu. And anyway, I'd had all that early training, so it seemed a natural thing to do. And if you are lucky enough to have the beginnings of a career early in your life, then you learn from others, you learn as you go along, and it becomes your college education, in a sense. Don't you think so?
Very true, yeah.
Well, I think you probably could have taught the teachers something, because to be able to graduate from high school at 15 years old, you had to be a genius.
I don't think I was either. I think they threw me out. No, they didn't. No. You know, the truth is, my father, he taught in Los Angeles City College, so it was really his decision. He took me out of school a year early. They felt that the last year of high school was kind of repetitive. But I did have this great opportunity to go to Europe with my mother and my 7-year-old brother, who was already about a year or two ahead of himself. They took him out of school because he was too far ahead.
Oh, wow.
But traveling in those days at that time and seeing all the great art in Europe and music and theater and museums was its own education. So, and anyway, I don't think an IQ of 135 is that high. Is it? Nah.
Compared to me? I mean, whoa. I won't go there.
But we don't take IQ tests anymore, do we?
Not me.
Really, no.
Not me.
I mean, that's embarrassing. It's like getting on the scale in the morning. You just don't want to know. You're hoping always for, thinner, taller.
Well, that's when you say if you scored reasonably high, you're like, yeah, I took the IQ test. If you score really low, you're like, I've never taken one. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Julie, being such a smart lady and coming from, the golden age of Hollywood, we had on Mamie Van Doren, and she was telling us how hard things were back then, that there was a lot of guys trying to get you onto casting couch and this and that and everything else. What about somebody like you that I don't think nobody's going to pull anything on Julie Newmar? I mean, did you have a hard time?
Well, sure that happens. People try to do things like that, but it doesn't become a focus, because for me, I'd go off and decide and practice the piano during lunch hour, or I just had so many much more interesting things to do. Take 3 or 4 dance classes on Saturday. I loved it. I think that my mother, who really gave me the career that she wasn't able to fulfill entirely, worked perfectly for me. It was just a natural to do all these things creatively in the arts. The arts just seems as if, if you can paint, you can probably design or dance. It's a matter of focus, what you want to do. I even studied opera for 8 years.
Wow. So I take it you sing.
Well, it's necessary if you want to sing on Broadway, because you got to have some lung power there.
Yeah.
Right.
People weren't all mic'd up back in the 60s and in that decade.
Wow, that's for sure. Those were the days. Everybody loves you as Catwoman, but is it okay for me to say that probably my favorite thing you ever did was Stupefying Jones from Little Abner?
You remember that? Well, you must have seen the movie then.
Yes, I'm an old guy,
Coming out of that rocket ship there, Jerry Lewis winding up and coming and getting knocked flat on his keister. Yeah, it was great fun, yes.
Wow.
Paramount Studios. That was actually a cartoon strip, of course.
Yes.
Most people remember Little Abner. Al Cap drew the whole thing. But it very successfully, as a comic strip, with marvelous music, became a Broadway hit, Broadway show, and then a year or 2 or 3 later they made it into a movie. And it still stands up, it still holds up. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely. Comic strips have been really good to you, Julie.
I guess so. People say that I'm bigger than life. Is that fair?
And, I've got my fingers crossed because, of course, there's all kinds of products out there, and everybody's excited about the new Batman movie. But I remember the original Catwoman, and there may be a Julie Newmar kind of Catwoman doll that might come out. Is that true? Maybe?
I'm hearing that, yes, this weekend in Las Vegas. They're having a licensing show, and they're all scurrying about trying to connect and sell all these toys and items and stuff that always happens when they make these big movies like Batman, which will be out in July, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me ask you, I mean, of course we want to have you tell the story of how you got involved with Batman and how you got convinced to do the audition for Catwoman and things, but I also want to know, how do you feel about the new movie or really kind of any recent reincarnations of Batman?
Well, when you think of it, Catwoman is certainly kind of like Carmen. It's just a great role that women want to do. Mm-hmm. And it'll go down for the next decades, or it'll go down for years and years and years. And many people will play it, and many people have a chance to do it in many different ways. And it will always be intriguing because the character itself is just so rich.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, I suppose it probably wasn't as hard for you to accept other women playing Catwoman because there was, there was other women that played Catwoman in the series itself.
Exactly. I guess I climbed right out of the comic book itself. I had a little hand in designing or redesigning the costume, which is now in the Smithsonian Museum of all things.
Wow.
In the Smithsonian. But when you do television happens so fast. You get the script, the next day you shoot it, you get maybe, if you're lucky, a rehearsal. Mm-hmm. And usually they'd say, do you mind if we shoot the rehearsal? Because they know that they're saving money if they can do that, see. So, but the other flip, the good side about that is that there's a lot of spontaneity in working in television. Because you got to be right there, right on the spot, right with whatever the show or character or part that you're doing. So I like the challenge of television.
Yeah, for sure. And you came from television too. I mean, you did early television back with Bob Cummings. Oh,
that was a show called My Living Doll,
yes,
which has now come out again in. Let me see there. It's been redistributed, and it's a beautiful show to watch. It is actually in black and white, and in some ways I almost prefer black and white to color, only because the lighting was really, they gave attention to it, and the camera work and everything, and people look so good in black and white, for the most part, if the show was well photographed. But that was a big challenge for me, playing a robot.
Right. Wow. Mm-hmm. I've got to ask you, Julie, because I interviewed William Asher, who was the husband of Elizabeth Montgomery, and he did all the Beach Party movies. And Bob Cummings was in one of the films. And William told me that Bob Cummings was a little hard to work with. Did you have any experiences with him?
Well, he was interesting. Now, you know what all that means, interesting.
Right.
How was your food tonight? Well, it was interesting. Did you like it? Well, of course. Yes, he really very talented actor that did some successful television shows. Before My Living Doll, he did That's My Bob,
mm-hmm,
right? Where he played a photographer.
Yes.
Really, very, very talented. Maybe not the best choice in casting for the psychiatrist part to the robot in that show, but the show really looks good. It holds up. It's wonderfully written, and it was the most, I would say, difficult, challenging part I've ever had. And actors always they like to get their teeth into something,
Right.
something that really makes them work. So that's one of those roles.
Well, I gotta imagine because of course you're probably most known for Batman, but it's got to be exciting for you to have this show be brought back on DVD, My Living Doll, because I imagine it gets a little frustrating that some people don't know that you did all this other stuff.
Oh, but that's what YouTube is for.
Yes.
It's true.
Oh my gosh, you can find nearly everything, all the ballet dancers in Russia and the opera, and I mean anything you want to see, you can get a minute or two or more of it, right?
Right. And there's one other role I got to mention this before I forget it. That I've got these favorite things that you've done, and the other thing that was my favorite was you did such the best Twilight Zone episode ever, where you played like the devil.
Ah, another juicy role. Who doesn't like to be a devil every now and then? Yes, you trip them up, see? Mm-hmm.
See, that's the thing about...
You got knowledge that no one else has, and just think of the great writing that went into that show. Oh, my gracious.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about you, too. I mean, you're such a beautiful lady, and you got that look like the beautiful kind of lady next door, but you also can be a devil.
I hope so. That's why they paid me.
So, Julie, let me ask you, I mean, what was the process or how did you hear about or get involved in auditioning for Batman? I read, I believe, that when you actually got offered the job after the audition, that your brother was one of the people that was urging you to take it, right?
My brother was going to Harvard, and he came down with about 6 of his friends, and we were sitting in my apartment. I had a penthouse on Beekman Place, real nice place to live in New York City, because I did a lot of theater in New York. And so the phone call comes in, and they asked me if I wanted to do Catwoman and something called Batman, and I'd never heard of it. And when my brother heard Batman, he just leapt off the couch and said, "What? Oh, this is our favorite show at Harvard," and just about anywhere else. And he said, get yourself packed, get out there. Over the weekend, I flew out, and then Monday morning, I had a script, and Tuesday, I was being fitted for the costume, and I think the next day, we were shooting. We were rehearsing and then shooting.
Wow.
It shows you that they make up their minds at the last minute.
Yeah.
Well, most of the things that you've done has been kind of unique that nobody's ever done before. Like, there was nobody that played a living doll on TV, and I don't think there were very many female devils. But when you're told you're going to play this superheroine, and of course she was in a comic book.
Supervillain.
Supervillain. To some people she was a heroine. To me she was a heroine. But to be, you had the comic books to go on, but you said you really didn't know about it. You probably never read the comic books. What did you kind of base your characterization on? I mean, were you thinking of a cat? Did you watch your cat, or?
That's a good question. No, the script was so wonderful and so witty and so well written that it was just so easy to do it, you see. But then, since I did 6 shows, I thought, gee, I need to learn something about cats and how they move and what it's like. So I was living in New York, and I was going to the actor's studio, and right next to the actor's studio on 44th Street lived a wonderful actress by the name of June Havoc. June Havoc was Gypsy Rose Lee's sister.
Yes.
And they were both wonderful, talented, beautiful, flighty, comic actresses. Wonderful. And June used to adopt all these, not stray animals, but not abandoned, but yeah, they kind of left over,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So I picked up 2 kitties in her brownstone flat, took them home, and just observed them, and just saw the silly things they do and the way they stretched, and and when they were hungry, and when they would just come around your ankles and they'd sort of rub their cheeks and ears up against you. They, that was their language. So that, lo and behold, in the script here was this milk that I had to lap up or lick, as it were, but you didn't have overtly sexual moves in those days. Mm-hmm. You had to indicate it a little more subtly. So I put the milk in a saucer. Anyway, never mind this lascivious description here. But just watching the animal really helped me a great deal. And I think that probably by the second, third, or fourth show, it really it fit me like a glove.
Absolutely.
The character.
Well, let me ask you, Julie. I mean, because they had back in the 50s and 60s, there are a few women who really stood out because of certain iconic imagery. I mean, we're talking about people like, Bridget Bardot and things like that. For you, the thing that made you really kind of stand out amongst, I'm sure, very many young men's minds was that costume. It fit you impeccably. What did you feel, or how did you feel about the costume, and knowing that for the time it was pretty sexy, it was pretty risque?
It certainly did.
No,
it certainly did things for me.
It wasn't sexy.
Oh.
How you move is what is sexy.
Exactly.
But it was. You think of it just like licorice poured over your body, and well, I'll tell you what you're thinking is really what registers on the screen. You know what I'm saying? So you can read a line and it may say, "I want to kill you," but you're really thinking something else.
Yeah, I seriously don't want to go into what I was thinking when I was a little boy watching you, because
well, that's why you hire the actor to do the role, and not the makeup artist to, No.
So was the costume comfortable? It looked like it was very...
Oh, sure.
Really?
Yes, it was made of lurex, so it had a slightly shiny, bluey, kind of a blue thread running through it, but it was really black. And I made sure that it fit well, because I used to make my own clothes when I was growing up, so I knew how to sew. And there was a zipper in the back. I mean, what's easier than that? Just one zipper, put your each arm in there and pull it up on you, put on your high heels, and off you go.
Wow. Was that filmed at Sunset Gower Studios?
A good question. No, it was filmed where Gone with the Wind was filmed.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, out here in Culver City near MGM Studios. Mm-hmm. But it's changed names quite often, so I don't know what it's called now.
Wow. Well, there's that age-old question about Gilligan's Island, Mary Ann or Ginger. I have to ask you, who do you think was sexier, Adam West or Burt Ward?
Oh, my. Well, don't read their books and determine that way, because that's a real feisty argument among the two of them. I would never write a show and tell book?
Right.
No, not at all. I did write a book, and it's called The Conscious Catwoman.
Absolutely.
Explains life on Earth, but it's not a tell-all book.
Well,
It's a how-to book.
Well, tell us a little bit about the book. Of course, for people that haven't picked it up yet, you should. Mm-hmm. It's called The Conscious Catwoman Explains Life on Earth. You say it's a how-to book. So what if a listener of ours right now has not heard of this book yet, what would they be in store for if they picked up a copy?
Okay, Chapter 5 says, How to Improve on Your Parents. Chapter 7 says, Taste, How to Have It in 3 to 6 seconds. Beauty, the wrinkle on. Well, a lot of people write about that stuff. Mm-hmm. The Great Teacher, an Inside Secret. So I tell people my secrets of how you do this, that, and the other.
Well, let me ask you, because, tomorrow's Father's Day, and the other host here is Tiffany. Now, Tiffany's my daughter. I'm her dad.
Mm-hmm.
So
how old is she?
Yeah.
I'm 28.
Yeah, she's 28 and I'm 55. But how...
No, I thought you had a teenage daughter.
She sounds like it. But she's up in age. But
Okay.
How would you instruct my daughter to make me a better father?
I don't think she has to.
There you go. Perfect answer. And that's why I love you.
Everything is appreciation. The more you appreciate in life, the richer you become, the more you have what you really desire and want. Everything is about appreciation.
Right.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Well, that was one of the things that I found was interesting because, of course, we want everybody to get the book, The Conscious Catwoman Explains Life on Earth, but you also have a fabulous website called JulieNewmarWrites.com. And you post blogs and writings up there all the time. And one of the things that you were talking about is that, everybody asks you, Julie, what's your secret? Because you're still beautiful and all this kind of stuff. But you said that true beauty comes from the inside and being happy from the inside out.
Oh, no question. No question. Over a period of 20, 40, 60 years, you can see the people that have been thinking right.
Yeah.
I mean, their shoulders are down, their chest is out. They walk with a feeling of assuredness, of well-being. It always shows that with the more years that you have. Good gosh, look at Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Look at him. Don't we admire him? Mm-hmm. Hello.
Absolutely. So in knowing that, and you can talk about this if you want to, if you don't want to, that just let us know, that's fine. But in knowing that you seem like such a positive person, I know that you've talked about this on your blog, but you were actually diagnosed with a form of cancer.
Yeah.
How do you stay so positive in knowing that you've had it's a form of skin cancer, right?
It's not melanoma. That's much more dangerous. This is basal cell carcinoma. It comes from either being in the sun, which I never was, or in my case, I fell asleep under a sun lamp when I was only 19 years old, and it's very peculiar, but it sort of stayed latent. I'm guessing this is how it worked. And then years and years later, it just came up and through and caused problems on my face only, because I wasn't wearing a bathing suit or anything. I was just trying to heal some pimples, I guess it was, because that day we were all going to MGM to be filmed to get our still pictures for the film that we had just completed, 7 Brides for 7 Brothers. Mm-hmm. And I guess I just fell asleep, and my father woke me up. And that's the only kind of reasoning I can come to about why I had this particular basal cell carcinoma.
Wow. But it's not something that, it's just something that flares up occasionally, or...
Well, it's just been coming up in the last 3 or 4 years, and it does take a very refined kind of surgery to take it off. And gosh, nobody wants scars or on your face.
Right.
But a little makeup covers it up, and
Well, all we want to know is that you're doing fine. You're feeling okay, right?
Oh, sure. That's not
good.
Any great big thing.
Right. It's got to be so cool to know. How many people love you. When I imagine you probably still go to conventions and stuff where you meet fans, right?
Luckily, yes. Maybe twice a year, I get to see Adam and Bert again, and we really have so much fun. But the best part of it, the best part why I love it so much is the people that come up to me and tell me their stories and what happened to them, and they have this emotional memory that goes back 30, 40 years, some of them. It simply amazes me to meet people and be in contact with these just marvelous experiences. I love meeting people.
You know, the special treat for me is of course, I had I still got this huge crush. I love you. I still have this big, yes.
Oh my goodness.
But there was an episode of Batman with you and Leslie Gore.
Uh-huh.
I love, and to have you two together, I mean, my God, talk about a treat.
I know. She comes up to about my waist, okay? She's wearing a little bunny outfit. She looks like a beauty queen out of Hugh Hefner, if it were for 6-year-olds, But here's the deal. She was the niece of the producer. And a first-rate singer who had gold platter, or she won all those awards.
Yeah.
She's a big recording artist.
Right.
And she was wonderful, and I'm glad you remembered that show.
Probably my favorite. The only other one that I really remember was when you were disguised as an old woman, and I did not know that was you, and then when you came out and revealed who you... Incredible makeup.
Oh, that was my favorite thing to do, because, well, it's easy to be glamorous, but to be 40 years or 60 years older than you really are in real life, that takes observation, that takes work, that takes special makeup, that takes going to the dentist and you get one of these sort of cotton or things and you stick it over in your mouth, and it looks as if you lost all your teeth, see? and then when you come out of your dressing room, 4 of the fellows come over there and they help you down, and you get to go and sit and they treat you very nicely. I'm making fun of all this, but we all want to be somebody different every now and then, just to see what it's like.
Well, yeah.
And you know what? Let me see. James, what's his name? He has a very famous son now. Brolin. James Brolin, who's married to Barbra Streisand.
Yeah.
He had his first part in that very show where I played the 80-year-old woman. and so I get into this truck with him, and he's driving, you see. So I put my hand on his thigh, and I just leave it there. And I look at him, and I just watch his reaction. And I don't know if he's reacting to me, the actress, me, the character, me, the dialogue. We had so much fun. Thank you for remembering that.
Well, maybe it was such a thrill for him. That's why he wound up getting hooked up with somebody just a little older than him. Because
I don't think it was a thrill for him, but it was a thrill because it was his first acting role, his first performance. And guess what? It's another guess what. He married one of the girls that worked in the production company.
Really?
That was his first wife, and I guess the mother of Josh Brolin.
Wow.
I gotta find out. I hope I run into him someday.
But I
doubt if I will.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you for my cousin. It's a female cousin of mine from way back. I haven't seen her in a long time, but she went to a Chad and Jeremy concert, and they were very mean to her. I mean, they were really snotty. They wouldn't give her an autograph. And then Catwoman took away their voices. And got revenge for my cousin, okay? So
yeah.
I want to thank Catwoman, the character, for doing that, because that was...
She got rid of your cousin?
No, she got rid of Chad and Jeremy's voices. Remember, Catwoman stole their voices.
You didn't like their voices? They're British. Yes, they're like the monkeys.
Actually, you know what, Julie? I'm glad you mentioned that, because one of my favorite appearances of yours was when you guest starred on an episode of The Monkees. And we absolutely adore the Monkees here. We love Davy Jones. He was a guest on our show just about a year and a half ago before he passed away. And he was just such a sweetheart. And I absolutely loved your appearance on the show. What was it like working with them?
That was a dream show. Oh my goodness, those guys had so much fun doing that show. There was something about it. It was just so spontaneous, so easy to do. They all, I don't know, they just all fit together so remarkably. And I went to Davy Jones, not his funeral, but it was an event that happened a few months ago, and we were all together singing his praises and playing the music and toasting him with champagne. And I was just so moved by how many people genuinely loved him, of what a really good guy he was. And he was the shortest guy on the of all the four guys.
He was.
So I would really make it a point to flirt with him. I just wanted to see his reaction, you know.
Wow.
He was adorable.
I'm so glad to hear you went to his memorial.
But those boys were naughty.
Yeah.
I will not tell you about what happened during lunch break. Well,
Julie,
all
what happened?
Dressing rooms. Now, wait a minute. Their dressing rooms were outside the sound stage. Okay, in the alleys, streets there, where it divides up the sound stages. And these dressing rooms are, well, they're on wheels, okay? Because you have to move them from here to there, and this, you know, the studio's that. Well, they must have been having a frolicking and having an awfully fun lunch hour, because those dressing rooms would be sort of bouncing around. Yes, I'm not kidding you, all of them. This is true. I will never forget this. I mean, those guys, I'm not going to tell you anymore because I don't know anymore.
Well, I've got a pretty good imagination.
Those dressing rooms were in motion during lunch.
I like your story a little bit better than Rip Taylor's story, because he told me he was on a show 2 or 3 times. Actually, he was on the last episode, and he said that the cops were coming there to arrest them all the time for drugs.
Who? The monkeys?
Yeah, Rip Taylor said the police would show up at Sunset Gower and would arrest the monkeys.
Oh. Yeah, probably. Maybe so. They were doing that a whole lot. That was in the 70s, right?
Yes, 60s and 70s, yeah.
I mean, you couldn't walk anywhere that you weren't breathing that green stuff.
Well, speaking of green stuff, I want to have a chance to have you talk about something I know is like your favorite thing in the world, and that's your garden.
Oh, my favorite thing in the world is my garden. I'm looking at it right now. Oh.
You wouldn't by chance be growing any of those things that the monkeys might appreciate, would you?
And I wouldn't tell you if I did.
Oh!
No, but it is very green. The garden is very, and I have 4 gardens. Can you imagine? Around my little house. Don't have a big little house, big garden. I have 4 gardens that kind of wrap around. Very pretty. I have a sort of a English garden, and then a garden from Hawaii with a lot of ferns.
Wow.
And then there's 4 additional secret gardens. And secret gardens are made for children. Because when you're little, short,
right,
Lilliputian, and you walk into a garden, everything looks just so big and magical. And it's when you're a child that you fall in love with a garden, or being in a garden, or gardens in general.
Wow. So you do all that yourself, or do you have a gardener?
Heck no. No, I just point.
Okay, well, there you go.
This over here. Carry this over here. Okay, yeah, no. I used to in the beginning, of course. How do you learn? You have to learn. I would even garden on a fire escape, you know, or on a balcony, or open a window, or have a plant in my kitchen window. Oh, I'm the inveterate gardener. I grow anything.
Well, I think probably because you're Catwoman, you could just point and you could get any cabana boy to come and help you, because it'd be just an honor to help you with your garden. Wow.
Well, darn right. Shucks. Listen, My garden's famous, and it raises a lot of money for children's charities. People like to come on a certain day of the year, and then I've raised more money than any other, maybe any other garden in LA. I think this side of the Mississippi River, my garden is probably the most beautiful per square foot. This side of the Mississippi.
Wow. And so you like have an event, people come there and see your garden and you raise money? Is that what it is?
Yes. Anyone who wants to see my garden, I walk them through. Yes.
Wow.
Oh, yes, because it's magical. I mean, what our Maker created in the world of botany, and I mean, I love cats and dogs, but I talk to my plants. Well, I do. I mean, I do. Yeah, I like plants. I like green things.
Right. Can I ask you one question, Julie? And I always have a pause here if you don't want to,
No.
say. Just go, "Row," okay? Then pull out your claws and I'll understand the whole thing. You had somebody that lived next to you that didn't appreciate your garden so much. It's somebody I like. I know you made up with him, and that's Jim Belushi. What happened with Jim?
He moved.
Okay. Well.
He moved out of the neighborhood, out of my life, out of existence. Yes. Now, aren't we being taken care of?
Wow. Is it true, Julie, that you threw an egg at his house?
Well, something left my hand of that nature.
I love you. You're adorable.
Well, I think
I'm reading the wrong types of newspapers, I can tell.
Yes, I think there's definitely some Catwoman and Julie Newmar, okay? And I've got to tell you,
into things here.
as we're wrapping this up and we're talking about people that have left us that we have loved, okay, Patrick Swayze paid the greatest homage to you, to Wong Fu, Julie Newmar. How many people have their name in a movie title?
Greta Garbo. Okay. She has her name in a movie title.
Ah, that's right.
Come on, name some more. You're going to get all your listeners writing into you saying, "Oh, you got me, didn't you know this?" Name another one.
Oh,
John, what's his name?
John Malkovich.
Malkovich.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, think of another one. Okay.
I feel like Julie's like the school marm or something. I can't think. I can't think when I'm talking to you. You still sound exactly like you did. You got this beautiful.
To Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar.
Right.
Which was a picture in a restaurant that evidently got their attention. And weren't they good? Weren't those guys good?
Oh, absolutely.
Come on, having to have other people be another sex.
Right.
I mean, that's hard work.
I actually got a little bit upset, Julie, because I was like, Patrick Swayze made a better woman than me. What the? How does that happen?
Well, you know why? You know why he was so good? Because he's so loving.
Yeah.
His portrayal of the character, the female character they played in To Wong Fu, was so warm, touching, kind. He adores women. That's what the audiences loved him so much, because they're just a reflection of what he put out there. And what a talent! Oh my goodness!
Yes.
But he smoked too much.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's why we don't have him now.
Yeah.
He smoked too much.
You know, there's certain characters in life that are really beloved by the gay community, you know, like Liza Minnelli and Cher. And I can imagine that movie helped you become an icon even more so in the gay community, didn't it?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I think they like me because I don't know why.
Because, see, I was revealing on the air here, and this was like way before that movie, that, you know, as a little boy, when I watched you, okay, I could have dressed up like...
They like what men like.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying.
Ultimate women,
So,
yeah.
I could have dressed up like Batman, I could have dressed up like Robin, but I used to dress up like Catwoman.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Your mother would have walloped you. She would have thought you were a basket case. Come on, you put a towel around your shoulders and you were 6 years old and you jumped off a crate or something. You know. Oh, I've heard all the stories.
Now you have.
Well, just kind of as
got
we
a new one. You got a new story. What's your story?
As we wrap things up, let me ask you. I don't know if they have or anything like that, but if they did come to you and ask you to do a cameo in the new Batman film, would you do it?
Well, yeah, I had this brilliant idea. Really brilliant. It was based on a cartoon, actually. And there was this cat standing in the barber shop. Well, they were all cats. And the cat was the barber, see? So the cat throws this napkin around the other cat sitting in the chair who's about to get his coif done, right? Puts it around him like this. And so, and this could be done because it'd be really quite fun. And instead of using the comb on the cat who cut his hair, out comes, this is silly, out comes his tongue like a cat does, you know, when he licks his fur and cleans him, you know.
Right.
Well, you have to have a good imagination and just see it. But anyways, I mean, that would have been fun.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would have done something perfectly silly like that.
Well, you did voices in one of the Batman cartoons, right? Weren't you like Mrs. Wong?
Yeah, I did at Warner Brothers. Yeah, but they don't do fun, silly stuff these days.
No.
We don't have as much fun these days as we did back in the 60s.
Exactly.
Yeah, we didn't have so much to worry about back then. So there was much more comedy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, everything was really pretty dark and pretty noisy. And my only conflict with these new movies is that I have to stick my fingers in my ears a lot because of the sound effects and the noise, you know. And my nails are a little bit long and it hurts.
Yeah, everything is like too fast and too loud and too much. And they need to take a look back.
Yeah, a little bit aggressive we are these days here in America, I think.
Yeah.
Wow. So one last question. Was there did you feel any rivalry between you and Yvonne Craig, which is Batgirl?
No, because we were never on screen together.
But what about those after parties?
And we were never in the same show together.
Right.
We were no. And anyway, she's only 4 feet tall. I'm 6 feet tall. Well, almost.
There you go.
She's probably 5'4".
I think you could probably take her, Julie. I really do. I really do.
Well, we're both ballet dancers, and yes, you're right.
All right. Well, as we get ready to say goodbye here, I want to remind all of our listeners to make sure you pick up a copy of Julie's book, The Conscious Catwoman Explains Life on Earth, as well as Julie's 2 websites, julienewmar.com and julienewmarwrites.com. And, Julie, it has been such an honor and a pleasure to talk to you tonight.
Oh, Tiffany. Thank you, Tiffany, and thank you so much, Terry. I've never enjoyed myself so much, and that's the truth.
Such an honor. Am I right in knowing that you're coming out with another book, and don't you want people to write things for you, like you're putting other people's stuff in your book?
Oh, that's right, but that's another whole story.
Yes, we'll have you on again.
Yeah, well, that's when men will walk up to me on the street and say, Miss Newmar, did you know that you were my first turn-on? And I would ask them how old they were, and guess what?
What?
They were only 4.
For me,
they grew up and got wise.
For me, it would.
And fell in love with somebody else.
Right. For me, it was.
Thank you so much.
That's okay. I just want to let you know that for me, it was Raquel Welch, and it was Jane Fonda, and it was you. And I want to dedicate this song to you. We're going to do a song now, and this is "Julie, Do You Love Me" by Bobby Sherman. Yes, this is for you.
Okay.
Thank you, Julie. You have a wonderful night.
Oh, thank you. You two are so great together. Thank you.
Wow. All right. Good night, Julie.
Okay. Good night. Good night.